Hey YouTube, I know it's been a long time since I've taken a video, but I've been done with my truck for a long time, and it's now time to redo it. So, you know, not much has changed since the last video, except I got 26-inch Strata Perfetto wheels. They're pretty sweet, I like them a lot. Blacked pretty much everything out. I still gotta get the front windows tinted. I'm done with my freshman year of college right now, so I'm staying with my aunt and uncle. My truck is kind of where I've got all my shit stored right now, so the inside is filled with all my belongings. But looking to buy a house now with a garage so that I got more space. Right now I'm staying with my aunt and uncle, who have a giant shop. My uncle's a carpenter, so he's really good with woodworking. I know my woodworking in the past hasn't been the best with my builds, but he's going to help me out. The plan for this next build is steel cage in the back with birch plywood bolted to the steel cage. The front is going to have like L bracket steel so that I can bolt and unbolt baffles really easily. So I'm going to make a really solid back shell and then have it so I can switch out the baffle really easily. So the airbags, you know, over a year have been holding up pretty good. I'm impressed with them, you know, 200 bucks for an airbag kit, but I'm definitely going to get a house with a garage next year because this whole year I've had to park my truck in a giant lot overnight with no cameras or anything. You know, people have tried to break in, broke my handle. I've got a locking tailgate and it was screwdrivered. So luckily I've got a lot of anti-theft stuff in place, so they weren't able to take anything. But it's still scary, So, and then, you know, had my truck egged. You know, when people can't break in, they get pissed. It's whatever. That washes off. But next year, after I get this all rebuilt, it's going to be full of decals, so I'm just not going to park it anywhere overnight. And as usual, I've got a lot of anti-theft stuff, so even if somebody does break in, they're not going to get away with anything. So I was just taking a quick video. I don't really know what my plans are as far as subs. I'm keeping the same amps, but I'm going to start gutting the truck right now, and I'll just keep everybody updated as far as the process of gutting it, and then starting to put everything back together. Here's just one last look at the engine bay before I tear everything apart. Got my distribution block there. Quad alternators, they're all different kinds. I've been having problems with charging, and I've talked to a couple people, and they're saying that since all the alternators are different kinds, they're different brands, different parts that are used in them, the regulators in them are interfering with each other. I don't really get the whole thing, but they say I just need to get rid of all of them and buy all the same kind of alternator. And no, I did not put this intake on myself. No, I do not believe it adds horsepower. When I got the truck, it already had it on it. Did I put this throttle body spacer on here? No, I didn't. No, I don't think it adds horsepower. The person before me put it on, and I'm not gonna go through all the work to take it off. I'm just clearing that up because every place that I go to, I pop the hood and people see these things and they're like, oh, you think that makes horsepower? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not the one who put it on there, but I'm not gonna take it off and buy a stock airbox and take off the throttle body spacer and just throw it away. You know, it's not worth my time. I don't think it makes one bit of difference. Just clearing that up. But I don't know. Just one last look. Yeah, it's not clean. I just put a bunch of electrical tape on it so that there was no chance of any of the positives arcing off on the hood if I hit a bump or something. So that's that. Just one last look at the alternators before I pull everything out. Got the US alternator 390 hairpin that's connected to the stock plug on the truck. It's regulated by the ECU, or it's PCM controlled. That kind of sucks. But 300 amp DC alternator. It's just the conventional wound. It's not a hairpin or anything. It was cheap. I got it for 300 bucks. Got the Singer 370 down there. with the new regulator in it. Thing's a beast, but you know, it was expensive. Got a excessive amperage in there. I think it was also a 300. I forget. It was cheap. Conventional wound. You know, conventional wound large cases, so they're cheap. But this US alternator was expensive as shit, and I'm not the most impressed with it. So I don't know. I'll have to talk to the company more, see what they can do. Well, I got the battery out of the front and tailgate off. So most of you know, I used to work at a battery shop, and that's how I got all these batteries. I got 28 of them, 27 in the bed, and then the one that was up front. And at that job, I ran a forklift where I would load and unload pallets of batteries into the back and from the back of pickup trucks. So I got the idea to make everything a pallet. So what I've done now is disconnected all the speaker wires from the amps. I disconnected the main power wires that go from the battery bank to the front, both of those, and the wires are hanging. So now all I gotta do is take the skid loader and unload this pallet. I'm just gonna keep it all intact for now. Might tear the amps off it later and do something with the batteries. I don't know. I don't really know 100% what I'm gonna do with this next build yet. But actually, I think I'm having my uncle be the one to pull that out, because he's gonna know where we can store these for now. But the RCA's got pinched in there, so when he's pulling them out, he's gonna have to shift the pallet over to the right a little bit first, so I can pull those cords out of the way so they don't get shredded. But I don't know, just anybody who's doing a truck system, if you can put it on a pallet and you've got an access to a forklift or skid loader or something like that, it's very, very easy to do your rebuilds, because then you can just pull everything out after you unhook it. So that's pretty much it for that until we get the skid loader going. And then just pulled the battery, took the belt off, and I've got to like, these wires aren't live anymore, so they're disconnected from the back. So I just got to pull the alternators and the bracket and everything up front here too now. So we're gonna get this all unloaded from the back, and temporarily while my truck's down, bought a motorcycle. It's a 96 Yamaha XJ 600S. Lots of people talk shit about them, but it was a pretty decent price. You know, goes up to 120. You know, but I splatter painted it because I like to do that. So I don't think it's bad. It's fun, and it gets me from point A to point B while my truck's down. But I did get all the alternators off, and I took the back part of the bracket off because I'm gonna have to get to my power steering pump, and you know, that's another story. But I'm leaving the front on just because it's not in the way, and then I don't have to fuck with it. So, and then I'm probably just gonna take the wires out for my quad alt relay. But here's how it sits right now. I'm gonna show all the, there's the back piece of the bracket. Got a couple adder pulleys there, and so excessive amperage alt, US alternators, DC power, Singer, and then the stock one. I'm just gonna put the stock one back on for now, since I'm gonna be driving around without a system, so why bother putting anything else on. Day one had good progress. I've started taking the dash apart. So I'm going to take the whole dash out and put sound deadening on the inside, because this rattles a lot and it annoys the shit out of me. So basically going to sound deaden everything inside the dash. Anything that's not like tied down or like solid, you know, zip tie down or make solid. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to spray foam voids. I don't plan on competing, so it's not really going to matter as far as that goes. And even if I do compete, it's going to be in the extreme class anyways. And I'm going to have a stripper pole, so I mean, I don't think that it's going to matter that much if I've got spray foam in my dash. If I've got, you know, a steel cage that goes all the way up to the windshield. Like I'm gonna have steel bars running across, and it's gonna be all filled in with sand and resin on top of the layer of plywood that's gonna get bolted to those steel bars. So with all that, it's not gonna matter if I got spray foam in the dash. I think you moved back. Well, I didn't get it on video, but we just unloaded it all on one big cube. Well, it's not really cube, but just one big block out of the back. So she's empty now. Well, one last look at the subs before I pull them out. This is what the inside looks like. Still got the stripper pole in, need to pull that out. Still got the back supports in too. Need to pull those out when I tear down the enclosure, but that's how they got mounted. I got 6 along the walls, 3 on the front, 3 on the back, kind of angled, and then 2 regular mounted on the ground. Well, it's about the end of the day and got all the subs out now. Pretty good progress. Well, the turkey's been bothering me all day. Here's what it looks like on the inside without subs in. Got a little polyfill coming out. So I'm gonna take all the polyfill out so I can use it later on other projects like home audio. I'm redoing my home audio setup. And then after I pull the polyfill out and put it in some trash bags, it's going to be time to tear out the wall. My least favorite part. Well, I just barely started cutting into the enclosure now. I'm going to start by drilling holes in the top corners and then just cutting all the way down at the Sawzall, and then across the top and across the bottom just to get the screws, and then the chunks on the sides are going to come out, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the front baffle, just down on the edge of the front and then just across on the bottom, and then that'll leave me with just kind of posts in the front corners, which then I'll pry out and maybe cut in half with the Sawzall if I can get a blade in there, and then those will come out. Then the plan is ceiling comes down, then the back wall is what's always a bitch. So that's pretty much it. The floor will peel up after everything's off of it. So unfortunately, the only Sawzall I've got right now is a battery powered one because the plug-in one broke, and I've only got one charger, so I've run all the batteries I got dead and I'm just waiting on one to charge up. So I think I might just take a break for a little bit and post some of these videos up and maybe hop on the forum for a little bit. So that's about it.